anyway, this episode, this is going to be obviously an escalating clash between immigration authorities and political activists, particularly anti-Israel ones. Anyway, this is a really, really crazy case. To help us break it down, we have political analyst Angie Wong, my former co-host, and it's always great to see you, Angie. Angie, thank you so much for coming on. I hope you're doing well.
Oh, guys, I miss you so much. You guys look great. And thank you for bringing up this important topic. As people know, I'm sure your viewers know that Ted and I did go to Columbia. So we know the landscape there very, very well. And it's pretty incredible what's happening on our American campuses. And this one, you know, when Robby sent me this topic yesterday, I had to do a real deep dive into this one, because even me, MAGA girl here, I don't even know where I stand on this issue. It's a tough one.
Really?
Yes, I mean, look, I like to think that I'm fact-based. And, you know, as much as there's MAGA rhetoric, and as much as I support Tom Holman and Kristi Noem and all the great effort that they've been doing to secure and safety for our cities, this one's tough because it hits home a little bit. My husband was a green card holder. He was just recently naturalized. He told me after he was naturalized that he lived in fear here in the US for a long time. He didn't want to even cross the street without the sign being right, because he had to be a good citizen to get his naturalization. So this one's tough because I see the moves that are being made. I see the example that that the Trump administration is trying to make with these arrests. So I'm kind of tossed. I mean, I'm right there in the middle. I can see both sides of the issues. I can see the First Amendment rights, but I can also see that it could trigger into hate crimes. But again, the prosecutors have not let us know what Khalil was actually arrested for. So we don't really know all the facts here.
Well, that's the thing, is he wasn't really arrested, right?
He
so
wasn't?
He's not really.
No.
He's been detained. So it's not a legal process. It's not a court process, right? It's a legal process.
Well,
but it's not a court process. Presumably, there's no evidence that there will necessarily even be that there would be a hearing. Let's just say he didn't hire lawyers or didn't defend himself. He would probably just be deported. This would all be internal. ICE isn't really a court system. And so there's only going to be a court hearing because outside of the ICE system, his ACLU and other attorneys have filed a request for an injunction from the Southern District of New York here in federal court. I suspect the judge is going to require the government to put up or shut up. I suspect the judge is going to say, you've got to file charges. You've got to show us why you're detaining him. This is a green card holder. This is not a rando off the street, right? I mean, a green card holder has already been vetted considerably in order to get that green card, become a permanent resident. I mean, it's a bigger leap to get a green card than it is to go from green card to become a citizen. They've already checked him out in security. He hasn't, obviously, if they had any goods on him, like in terms of talking to Hamas or, coordinating with a terrorist group, they would have said so. They don't have that. And it doesn't even seem like it's his politics. It just seems like he's actually a mild-mannered grad student who's just graduated with a SIPA degree, School of International and Public Affairs degree. I mean, it's not like any random asshole can get one of those degrees, right? I mean, it's like it's yeah, exactly. I mean, it's like this is, I mean, the Trump administration is trying to send a message. I got to say, Angie, what do you think? I think they kind of screwed up because here's why I say that. I know Trump wants to send a message, but the ICE guys, when they showed up, said, we're here to revoke your student visa. They didn't know he didn't have a student visa. They didn't know that he had a green card. And then at that point, smart people might have been like, oh, we'll be back later. But they're like, fuck it, we're arresting you anyway. It's like, you know what I mean? Like if they had said, well, we're going to revoke your green card. It's hard to revoke a green card.
No, it's not. It's not very hard at all to revoke a green card, not with this administration. Look, I don't know if they screwed up. I think this is certainly the perfect case to go to trial right? At least a hearing needs to happen to understand
Tomorrow.
what happened here. So we're hearing all these things. Clearly, they're being reported, as all of us in this room understands. Things are misreported all the time, right? And
That's
there's a
true.
lot of noise out there. Right now, you have New York City on fire. You have people protesting on the street to release this guy. He does have a hearing tomorrow, but that's for deportation, not for necessarily what he may have been arrested for on the campuses of Columbia. So these are all questions we need to understand. And it's actually the prosecutor's office job now to let the public know, what is he being charged for? I think that is number one, because that would calm a lot of fears, right? Because if he was being charged, let's say, for hate crimes, and there was a standard for it, you would have a different reaction. If he was just getting charged for trespassing, lighting a bike on fire, whatever it is, you can almost understand that. Okay, that is a real crime, right? And I think that's where the prosecutor's office fails, is that it hasn't explained to the public. You can't just put a narrative out there like, okay, you're putting anti-Israeli sentiments out there, we're going to arrest you. Because right now, the Democrats will take that and own that message until the midterms, because
although the Democrats have not been on, Democrats are in the pocket of Israel too, and they haven't said boo. I haven't heard, if you look at Democratically aligned media, there isn't a single editorial or op-ed in the New York Times or the Washington Post this morning. They've had 2 days to write them. They've obviously there's no senior Democrats. We're not hearing from Nancy Pelosi or even Bernie Sanders or anyone saying this is wrong. I mean, I think Ilhan Omar is it, right?
They can't say it. They're between a rock and a hard place.
They're scared of Israel.
Well, they're scared of losing their Israeli base and the Israeli, Jewish money that comes into campaigns, and they're also scared for the AOC fracture of the Democratic Party that's going to go after them if they say anything that's against Palestinians, right? So it's a weird mix, but that's what the Democrats have thrown themselves into. They've thrown themselves into the lion's den, where it's like a lose-lose situation. Have you ever seen anything like this? Where this is why politicians hate the idea of Israel versus Palestine. They hate the idea of abortion, because it's a no-win situation whenever you talk about it. It's just one big muck.
But Republicans, I think, have got themselves worse, because on one hand, you have Trump and you have Elon Musk saying, oh, we need to bring in all these H-1B visa holders. So do jobs that Americans won't do. Okay, fine. Me personally, I want the program ended. We need to employ Americans. But let's just take Trump at his word. Let's open up the gates and bring in hundreds of thousands, millions of H-1B visa holders. Okay, fine. So be it. What are you going to do then? Are you going to in order to vet them, are you going to say that you're going to kiss the Israeli flag every morning? You're going to say anything bad about Israel before you get your H-1B visa? Because if you're importing people from around the world, which is what H-1B visas do, as for foreign workers, or in this case, just green card holders, whatever. If you're going to be bringing all these people in, is there then going to be a thought test to determine not only are you going to adhere to the laws of the United States, but you are not going to engage in whatever anti-Semitism is, because this Mahmoud, that guy, he's Semitic, he's Palestinian. It makes no sense to me. And then you have Trump going after Thomas Massie. What the hell? Thomas Massie is more America first than Trump is. What the hell is wrong with these people?
Yeah,
I don't get it.
I get it, because I think Ted and I spoke about this a year ago, what was going on in Israel and the complete flattening of central Gaza, right? I'll never forget that whole entire series, Ted, when we talked about what was going on in real time every morning, about how they're not just going into Gaza and clearing out hostages, or not hostages, rescuing hostages. They were actually flattening central Gaza, miles and miles of it, to the point where
80% of the territory is now completely gone.
Right. And now we know what the plan is. The plan is to build beach resorts and like a modern
I had said that
city. Yes, you did. And I quote you all the time whenever I'm on air, because now we see it in real time, what's going on. Parcels of land are being given to those who stayed quiet during this entire massacre. And I will call it a massacre, because that's the definition, I think, at this point.
Sure.
Right. And we see that the Trump administration is definitely helping in the real estate deal of what the new Gaza is going to look like, right? That's the whole play here. That's why Trump has to be very, very friendly to Israel, I guess. Right. If we're looking, I mean, look, we can talk real politics here. I don't have to spin it. We are seeing what's going on. You had demolitions crews a year ago taking away all the rubble, completely ripping apart all the infrastructure. They don't have water. They don't have sewer. They don't have electricity. Why is that? Oh, because they're going to rebuild everything. And absolutely, that's exactly what's happening. Now, who is going to rebuild that? Is that going to be the United States? It's not going to be Jordan, who they're playing very well with. It's not going to be any of the other Middle Eastern countries that we see going in. I think all of them are going to get parcels of land. I think that was a land grab. And however they had to do it, they'll do it. But you do have displaced Palestinians. Where are they going to go? That's going to be issue number one. Is Egypt now going to finally open Rafah and the borders up so that they go in? Is Jordan going to take a few? Where's that going to take place? So until all that messiness has actually been dealt with in a systematic way, you're going to have the protests. You're going to have people fighting on campuses in America. You got to clean up the initial spark first.
Although, Angie, I mean, it's interesting, right, to me. I mean, you and I are both Columbians. That's our alma mater. Columbia University was one of the high-profile Ivy League schools. The major protests started at Columbia, and then they spread from there, right? Sort of like it was back in 1968. But Columbia did. It seems to me like they did a lot to bend over backwards to try to accommodate, Jewish donors who were pressuring the university to crack down on anti-Semitism. They fired their president, right? Pushed her out, even though she was very cooperative with the congressional committee. They opened a special task force on alleged anti-Semitism, even though there's, to say the least, not much evidence that anti-Semitism really happened in these protests.
They had a dinner,
and then they also had but they banned all the student organizations that were protesting in favor of Palestine. They expelled high-profile students who were involved in the protests. They had some of those students arrested. The point is, Columbia did go after these students, and they cracked down on the pro-Palestinian students in a big way. And somehow it just wasn't enough for Trump, and he took away $400 million in federal funding. Now, I don't cry for Columbia University, because you and I both know they have billions of dollars in endowments, and they're the second or third largest landowner in New York City. So they can sell a building and they'll be fine. But the point is, I mean, apparently appeasing the Trump administration and their Israeli allies hasn't really gotten these schools very far. It's like, okay, well, you guys, it's like they didn't do anything. They should have just been like, we're not going to cooperate with you. What difference does it make?
No, what difference does it make? Trump is trying to be alpha male with universities and education institutions. It may work with, Trudeau or former Trudeau. It may work in Mexico. It may work other places. In colleges, colleges and unions are way too strong for this. They understand the political play. They understand that it's not just taking $400 million away because of these protests. It's because Trump hates all the DEI stuff. He hates giving money to all this other extraneous things that, he can't control what's going on in these schools. And I get that. And that is America first. And I understand those policies.
But these are private institutions, Angie.
But you're giving federal money to it. You don't know, and there's no audit of the money.
And I don't even think that Columbia should accept those contracts. I feel like a private educational institution should not be attached to the federal government. It should be independent. It should raise its money elsewhere. I don't know.
400 million is 400 million. I'll take it.
Yeah,
Isn't this the ultimate form of DEI, though? I mean, Trump is saying, "Come against DEI," except when it comes to fragile Jewish feelings, because then I'm going to use the full weight of the federal government to crush anyone who disagrees with what Israel is doing. Like, I'm a right winger, Angie, I am MAGA. That is me. But I'm coming out and I will say Israel was committing a genocide. That doesn't mean I support Hamas. And I'm sorry, if I say that Israel's committing a genocide because they were, and Trump and then going out and saying, I'm going to help them ethnically cleanse Gaza because that's what the man said. That does not make me an anti-Semitic racist bigot because some Zionist somewhere says, oh, what Robby hurt my feelings. That means he supports Hamas. You can go straight to hell. I am not.
I'm worried that this behavior actually on the part of rabid pro-Israel people is actually going to cause real anti-Semitism.
This is going to cause a bigger split on the right that was already there over immigration. This is going to explode. And I don't understand why Trump is picking this fight. I do not understand it. It's just over money.
I haven't heard honestly, like Angie, you and I both saw the protests. We went on campus. We used our university IDs. I mean, the main problem with them really was that they were boring and nothing much was going on. but like
they were doing yoga.
Yeah, I would say, yeah, they were eating pizza. I mean, it's like basically, they were camping. It was like, yes. I mean, look, I'm not going to say, look, I wasn't, I'm not omniscient. I'm not saying that there wasn't anything anti-Semitic ever said or thought there, but it seems that I know a lot of people who are, activists in favor of Palestine, and I've never heard one of them say, Hamas is pretty cool. I mean, nobody liked Hamas, right? It's like, I'm sure there's, the occasional wacko who does, but that's an exception. And it's like, I don't know, it does seem to me like this could really cause a true anti-Semitic backlash on maybe, as Robby says, on the right, but possibly also on the left.
See, I think Columbia should take this opportunity today, and all university colleges should actually form a coalition, come out to say, we don't support any hate on our campuses.
Nothing wrong with that.
And have some built-in real policies that aligns with basically pleasing Trump without giving Trump too much. That kind of makes Trump go away for a bit, right? And makes ICE kind of calm down. That's ultimately what he wants. He wants the university heads to go, on their knees and, thank him and beg him for his forgiveness. And then it goes away. This is an ego thing. I know that, he is very, very much in support of all the new developments happening in Israel. He wants to be a part of that. He wants the U.S. to grow in that region. I get all that. Let's take the politics out of this and just protect the students, right? Now, with this arrest, I don't know if it will backfire. There's a lot of New York stuff has backfired for Trump in the last, 50 days since he's been in office. And I have to wonder if his advisors... Right. I have to wonder if his advisors in New York know what they're doing. It's not Trump. It's the people in New York whispering in his ear saying, we need to do this for New York. They're the ones screwing up. And Trump, for some reason, keeps giving them more and more ammo. I would just dump these guys. I would dump all of them right now. They've done nothing but tank the administration within the first 50 days. It's like, at what point does Trump stop letting these guys slap him across the face and in the public over and over again? So that's one. Two, I think you were right. I think that this arrest is not the best example. They did want to make an example on colleges, and I can see that because what happens after Columbia? Oh, you're going to have Boston University do it next. Remember last summer, you had every single college blowing up because of this. So that's what they're trying to stop. They're trying to stop the fire from spreading.
But it already did. I mean, there, like this past fall, there was almost no activism on American college campuses. Mainly, and there's really an atmosphere of fear on the part of faculty and students alike, who are saying, like, these days we're just taking a big cup of shut the fuck up, and we're just not talking because we don't want to be fired or expelled.
Yeah. It ended because summer break happened. Right. Like realistically, that's what happened, right?
But then it didn't start up in the fall again.
Well, and of course they waited until Trump got into office to start it up again. I mean, it's all politics and a lot
It's
of
more
it,
about Trump.
So I get what the Trump administration is doing. I get what ICE and DHS is trying to do. They're trying to arrest the instigators, right? They know it sparked
Right.
someone and somewhere, perhaps the latest arrest. It's not just one arrest; it's multiple arrests. Maybe that's what this is about. And I get that because that's what police do, right?
They probably they probably just thought like, this guy, he's here on a student visa. I can't believe they screwed that up, and no one could
That's weird.
Figure out. No one could type into at ICE. They couldn't type into a computer and find out he had a green card.
I think they just saw the name and went for it, Ted.
Idiot.
Honestly,
Yeah, they were
I think they saw the names. Oh, look at this. Here's a Middle Eastern sounding dude. Let's make an example of this guy.
Yeah, and he's an ugly dude too. There, I said it. I mean, he's not Luigi. You know what I mean?
No.
It's like on TV. It's like, oh, look at that guy. Yeah, he could be in ISIS.
Really? Is that? I mean, look, this whole administration is all visuals, right? It's all TV entertainers on. I mean, every one of his cabinet members is like very, very TV friendly. Are they not? So
the British cartoonist, though, she's kind of cute. That's going to be a problem.
I gotta see her face. I haven't even looked her up. Look, let's see what happens with this one. Trump cannot afford another New York loss. If this one is not a winner for him, New York,
this is going to be bad.
It's going to be really bad.
I don't see. I mean, look, Manila. I mean, yourself having
Manila.
Manila.
Dude,
sorry,
the
Angie.
other wife, the other radiant wife,
the other Asian wife. Yeah. But I mean, it's like tomorrow there's going to be that hearing, that habeas hearing. It's not in Virginia, right? New York is a liberal court. These are going to be a Democratic judge, or a panel of Democratic judges. They're going to be suspicious of Trump, and New York is a city of immigrants, and this guy's a green card holder. I mean, I'm sorry, that's radical. I mean, that's like, sweeping him and dragging the dude, the optics, 8-month pregnant American wife. Oh, I mean, that's a PR nightmare.
Again, I'm going to reserve judgments to find out until the actual criminal charges are read out loud. I don't know what he did. Well, I don't know if he set someone on fire. I have no idea, right?
But there aren't any. I mean,
there's got to be. You can't just arrest someone without. Oh, come on, jaywalking. Even I need to understand why he was arrested. And they just said it
was national security interest. I mean, literally the press. I mean, here's the thing, right? Let's just say, for the sake of argument, the guy's a bad dude for some reason, right? But like Trump said he used. I mean, he literally on the White House X account, he posted in all caps, "Shalom, Mahmoud," in all caps, like goodbye, Mahmoud, like bye, Felicia. It's like he said, this is because this guy was, in the Palestine protests. In other words, we're punishing him. We targeted him because of his speech.
It's a thought crime. That's
a classic First Amendment case. I mean, it's like he said it. I mean, even if the real reason was, I don't know, he did let your imagination run wild. He's the real Gilgo Beach killer. The point is, they didn't say that. They said we went after him because of what he had to say.
Well, and if it incited violence, that is another thing, right? We have to understand what it did. And look, speech, as you know, incites violence. It can incite violence, and we have seen violence. So now it's just a matter of who can prove their case. Can the prosecutor prove their case?
But there's no prosecutor.
There is a prosecutor.
No, there isn't. This is ICE. This is ICE.
You're talking about the deportation case.
Yeah, well, that's all there is, right? So that's all there is. He has not been charged with anything. So there's no prosecutor.
Yeah,
there's no charges. I mean, literally, ICE is just saying, look, this is an administrative procedure, but normally it's according to all the immigration experts, green cards are only yanked if you commit a very serious felony. I mean, even if you...
We're going to test that. This is a new day, a new administration. We don't know what that actually means in this new environment. And if that's what it means, then, okay, let's just say this guy is a pawn. All right?
For sure.
Let's just say that's what he is. Does this now deter future campus crimes or protests?
Well, I mean, the protests have already, I would say yes. And certainly if you are a green card holder, if you're less than a full U.S. citizen, look, I know we only have a few minutes, and you have a hard out, Angie. It's like, and we'll let you go on time, but I do want to get you down on this. I mean, when this broke, this sent a chilling effect among my friends. We're calling each other, texting each other. We're all U.S. citizens. We all have that U.S. passport. We're all born in the United States. We're all thinking, if they can do this to a green card holder, it's not a huge leap to think that they could do it to anybody else, including a U.S. citizen. I mean, this will send, obviously it was meant to send a chilling message, but I mean, the thing is, could the Trump administration move to start arresting U.S. citizens for exercising their free speech rights?
No, I think, and if you say this was a fuck up, this was the perfect fuck up, because then you're testing the waters here. Now they know the next arrest won't look like this at all. It will be a slam dunk. So if we're going to make noise now, and Democrats are telling us, wait, hang on, he's a green card holder, he's got a pregnant wife, you can't do this to someone, the optics look bad. We know Trump's
Democrats
all about
don't
optics.
care, remember, Angie, they don't care about this guy.
Progressives
no, they don't care. Lefties care.
Lefties care. And again, I understand the free speech fight. I fight it every single day. But honestly, if he was charged for something other than, just speaking his mind or a thought crime, that's what they're going to get him on.
Sure.
And you can't argue that. If he set a garbage
they're
can
going to
on
dig
fire,
into him.
They're going to
find out everything they can about him. They're going to, if he's ever so much as been late returning a library book, they're going to find out.
That's right. And that's how it goes. Unfortunately, this guy is going to be used as a pawn, but I do understand having to stop campus hate. We have to do it. If college campus presidents can't do it, if the university presidents can't do it.
That's a broad issue, Angie, right? The big question is protesting in favor of Palestine against alleged genocide, I would say a genocide against the people of Gaza that's killed potentially hundreds of thousands of people. Is that hate? I mean,
oh, well, no, of course not. And Colombia is known for its protests.
It's
right?
also crazy too, because anti-Semitism at Colombia, let's say the quiet part out loud, Angie, it's a very Jewish school. I mean, like going to Colombia, like I almost came out of it speaking Yiddish. I mean, it's like, it's probably a third of the population is Jewish. It's so Jewish. It's like saying the synagogue is full of anti-Semites. You're like, what?
And again, it's because we have the entire year to figure out how to eradicate the hate and the hate speech and all that stuff out of campuses, and universities didn't do a thing. No, I mean, they might have done like a flyer or put something on their website about it, but that's it.
I wouldn't say that's true. They banned demonstrations. They banned student organizations that are pro-Palestine. They expelled students. They fired their university presidents. I mean, that's not nothing.
Yeah. And you know what? Ultimately, it's very disruptive to the other students who have to kind of live amongst this mess that they never involved themselves into, right? No, look, you know this. I went for my 20-year reunion on Columbia during that weekend that it broke out. And
you were still able to get there, though. You were still able to attend it, right?
I was lucky enough to actually go on campus, right?
These stories that like, people weren't be able to go to class, that's a fairy tale. That didn't happen.
Well, that's what I mean. They couldn't do their finals because that was finals week. And
that's a blessing as far as I'm concerned.
I know everyone got like a pass fail.
I'd be like, yeah.
And maybe that's why it was sparked to begin with. So no, look, this is a much broader conversation that needs to happen. And I think that the Trump administration is going to push forward with all these initiatives because that was the mandate that was given to Trump when he was voted in November, right? So we're now enacting all of those campaign promises. Now, one of them is to eradicate, the violent speaches on campuses. I don't think there
was much of that. And I know you got to go. And I also don't think there was much, I don't think that he was really, I don't think many people voted for Donald Trump because they wanted, to suck up to Israel.
I think there's going to be pushback from the right on this. I know you got to go. Here's what I see. people on my side of the aisle, like the Thomas Massey type Republican types like me, we already believe that Trump is very weak on social liberties. He was all about the red flag laws, take the guns first, do due process second. Now we're going to start scooping people up to be deported without any kind of a charge. Now he's going after Thomas Massey on the primary. That is how he loses voters like me. Congratulations, Trump. You lost me. Bye.
Ooh,
That's
wow.
rough. When you
I think
lose
the push
Robby
back's
West.
coming from the right. The push
All
back's
right,
coming from the
Angie.
right, not the Democrats.
All right,
Angie
guys.
Wong, thank you so much for
I want to
joining
continue
us.
this with you, but with drinks.
Total.
too.
Anytime. Please come back anytime. Thank you
All
so
right,
much
guys.
for
Bye.
coming on. Really appreciate you. Talk to you soon.